hypothalamus gland, female gland. Let's delete it. We were supposed to start. Hypothalamus. So did we? Let me check it. So did we completed the disorder of thyroid gland? Right. Yes, cretinism and all that. Yes, we did. Hypothyroidism. Right. So parathyroid gland. Right. Next heading is parathyroid. Look, this is the actually parathyroid gland. So as we have discussed already, thyroid gland, this red color gland is thyroid gland, and the button-like four structure, these are called parathyroid gland. So they are found at the ventral surface of the thyroid gland. So parathyroid gland, thyroid gland, both are found along with each other, right? So let's start with the parathyroid gland. So what is the function of parathyroid gland and what they secrete? Actually, the parathyroid glands, these are made up of two kinds of the glands, two kinds of the cells. So they are basically made up of two kinds of cells. So first the cells are just, so they are basically made up of two kinds of cells. So first kind of the cells, they are called oxyphil cells. So these are, suppose that there are some cells. These are called oxyphil cells. Oxyphil cells, right? And another kind of the cells which are found over here, they are called chief cells. Chief cells, oxyphil cells and chief cells, right? So what is the function of these cells? Chief cells, they are meant for the secretion of parathyroid hormone, PTH. Chief cells are meant for secretion of parathyroid hormone. In short, we call it PTH, parathyroid hormone, right? Short. Or this is also known as parathormone. Parathormone. Both are the same thing. Parathormone. right? So parathyroid hormone or parathormone, right? It is also known as Collips hormone. So it is one of the more name of the same is Collips hormone. It is also known as the Collips hormone, right? And please start noting down. Take the screenshot. The parathyroid gland is located on posterior lobe of parathyroid gland is located on the posterior lobe of thyroid gland. Posterior lobe of thyroid gland. Full stop. It is made up of cheap cells and oxophil cells. It is made up of cheap cells and oxyphil cells. It is made up of cheap cells and oxyphil cells. Full stop. Cheap cells secrete parathyroid hormone PTH. Cheap cells secrete parathyroid hormone or parathormone, which is also known as Collips hormone, after the name of discoverer, which is also known as Collips hormone, after the name of discoverer. Full stop. It regulate calcium and phosphate balance. It regulate calcium and phosphate balance between blood and tissues. Full stop. Next point. It increases calcium reabsorption. From nephron. And inhibit phosphate reabsorption from kidney. Full stop. Thus it regulate metabolism of calcium and phosphate. Next point. Parathyroid are under the feedback. Parathyroid are under the feedback control of calcium, level of blood. So are you aware with the feedback mechanism we have discussed in the last class? Is it clear? Feedback mechanism, we in the last class we studied regarding the hypothalamus. I said you that hypothalamus work on the basis of feedback mechanism. Is it clear or not? Did you remember? Shahid, remember? Yes, Minashi, right. Okay. Full stop. Right. Next point. Rise of the calcium level in blood. Next point. Rise in the calcium level of blood. Rise in the calcium level of blood. Inhibit. This is an important line. Inhibit parathormone secretion. Inhibit parathormone secretion. Right. So that's how it works. If the calcium level will increase in the blood, then the parathyroid hormones will inhibit. And if the calcium level will fall, then the parathormone secretion will start. So that is the actually feedback mechanism. Clear? So the next thing that is the disorder of parathyroid, right? What are the disorder of parathyroid hormone, right? So please note it down, some of the disorder which are very important. So first and foremost disorder is hypoparathyroidism. So put the heading disorder. So the first disorder is hypoparathyroidism. 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 It causes the lowering of blood calcium level. It causes the lowering of blood calcium level. Lowering of blood calcium level. Full stop. This increases excitability of nerve. This increases excitability of nerve. This increases excitability of nerve and muscles causing cramp. It increases excitability of nerve and muscles, causes cramp. It is also called, very important, please note it down, underline this statement. It is also called parathyroid tetany. It is also called parathyroid tetany. Right? Or hypocalcemic tetany. Or hypocalcemic tetany. What is tetany or tetanus? What is tetany? Anybody, please tell me what is tetany? Disease. Come on, guys. Tetanus, you must have listened about the tetanus. Actually, we pronunciate it tetany. Atif, Said, Minashi, any one of you? Mazia, what is tetany? Come on, guys. Tetanus, didn't you ever listen about it? Suppose that if you got injured with any rusted iron, rusted nail, rusted blade, or any kind of the rusted thing, then what you are supposed to do, just go and immediate take the injection of tetanus, anti-tetanus serum, ATS injection, right? So tetanus is that condition which is caused by a bacteria known as Clostridium tetani. So in any rusted nail, when anyone is get injured with the rusted nail, rusted iron, any iron equipment, or any kind of the rusted iron part, right? When we start bleeding while injured by the rusted part, then we are supposed to go to doctor immediately, to go doctor and ask him to use the tetanus injection, because if there may be that bacteria Clostridium tetani which may cause tetany. During the tetanus, what happened? This jaw becomes locked. This jaw lock. So tetanus, that is a jaw lock, and the muscles start cramping, and even the person will die if jaw lock is the last stage of tetanus. The person will die, right? That is it, right? So this is, so that causes by a bacteria on Clostridium tetani. But hypoparathyroidism, so this tetanus causes due to deficiency of, why, what is the tetanus? Tetanus is jamming of the muscles, like the person won't be able to move its jaw, right? Next is hyperparathyroidism. Second one is hyperparathyroidism. Hyperparathyroidism. What is the hyperparathyroidism? Excess of this hormone. So this is excess. Excess of this hormone draws more calcium from bone. Excess of this hormone draws more calcium, means it take the calcium from the bone, draws more calcium from the bones. Full stop. It is causes demineralization. It is causes demineralization, means mineralization. It is causes demineralization of bone, resulting softening of bones, resulting softening of bones. Full stop. Osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the disease. Osteoporosis is a disease common in women. Common in women, caused by caused by caused by hyperparathyroidism. Next point. Excess of parathormone. Excess of parathormone causes calcium deposition. Excess of parathyroid hormone causes calcium deposition in kidney and leads to kidney stone, and leads to kidney stone, right? So this was all about the parathyroid gland. Is it clear or any doubt? If you have any doubt, please ask me.
Sir, osteoporosis is also known as brittle bones disease, right?
Osteoporosis is
also known as brittle bones disease, right?
Yeah, right. Actually, you know what happened when parathyroid become in excess. So what it do? It start taking out the calcium from the bone. So what happened in bones? There it become porous. So small hole like structure and pore like structure takes perforation like structure takes place in the bones. So bones become porous. They becomes brittle and they breaks easily and they take much more time in joining. Right. So osteoporosis is very common in those people, like old age people. In females are more common, right, because of calcium deficiency. Even out of this hyperparathyroidism, if someone is not taking calcium in their as a source of food, right, then even that person may cause the osteoporosis. But in this case, also causes osteoporosis, right? So next is thymus gland. So thymus. The next is thymus. Hypothalamus, we did it. Thymus. We did it. first. Thymus gland. First, let me tell you where exactly is this found. Its location is very important. Many times the location has been asked. Look. And this is the diagram for your. So it is lobular structure. So the peculiarity of this gland is that, you know, when a person take birth, so when a person take birth, so on that time its size will be 10 gram almost. When a person grown up, then it become almost 20 gram. When a person become adult, it becomes 30 to 40 gram. When a person become older, then it become again of 10 gram. And during the old days, it's almost degenerate, right? This gland is basically responsible for making the immunity because the maturation of WBC takes place over here. So it is considered that this gland is responsible for aging, right? So this is the gland which first increases as per our age, according to our age group, it increases its size, then the size of decreases. So this is the gland which increases first in size, then decreases during the older age, right? And the main function is maintaining the immunity. So if this degenerate, then the immunity system become weaker, right? So that is the function. Please note down. It is at the birth, it is 10 to 15 gram at the birth. At the birth, it is 10 to 15 gram. 10 to 15 gram. At the birth, it is 10 to 15 gram. Grow up the age of puberty. Grow up the age of puberty. Grow up the age of puberty. It reaches to 30 to 40 gram. It reaches to 30 to 40 gram. And at the age of mid-adult, at the age of mid-adult, it reaches to 10 gram. At the age of mid-adult, it reaches to 10 gram. Full stop. Disappearance of this gland, this appearance of thymus gland, this appearance of thymus gland causes aging. Thymus gland causes aging. Full stop. It secretes a hormone called thymosin. It secretes a hormone called thymosin. Full stop. Thymosin stimulate development of development of certain kind of WBC. Thymosin stimulate development of certain kind of WBC, which are responsible for producing immunity, Next point. It also hasten the development of aging, right? So the next is adrenal gland. I think it must be clear to all of you. Clear? Thyroid, we did it. One of the most important gland of the system, this endocrine system, that is the adrenal gland. So next heading is it clear to know, all of you? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next is adrenal gland. That is very important. And adrenal gland. Yes. It's very important, and the number of the questions you will get in your medical examination, and even in NCERT, it has been discussed in detail. So we'll discuss this gland in detail. So this is the seventh number gland. That is actually it secrete hormones of adrenal gland are known as adrenaline, adrenaline, noradrenaline. This is the detailed diagram of adrenal gland. Let me first tell you. Actually, the adrenal gland is made up of three layers, right? So adrenal gland, it is basically made up of three layers. So the outer layer is known as capsule. So this outer covering actually is known as, and where actually this is situated. So adrenal gland remains situated at the top of the kidney. So this is the location of adrenal gland. They are found at the top of the kidney, right? If we take the lateral section, the adrenal gland is made up of three layers. So the outermost layer is capsule. After the capsule, the first layer is called zona glomerulosa, right? So the first layer is called zona glomerulosa, right? This is the outermost layer. Then the middle layer is known as zona fasciculata, and the third layer is known as the third one layer is called zona reticulata, right? So this is the third layer, zona reticulata. So it is actually made up of three layers. Now, the outer layer, which is zona glomerulosa, it secretes a type of hormone. These hormones are known as mineralocorticoid. The example of mineralocorticoid are aldosterone and cortisone. Again, the middle layer is also known as the cortex, and this cortex is actually made up of the middle layer is also known as zona fasciculata. Zona fasciculata secrete a kind of the enzyme. This is known as glucocorticoids, right? These glucocorticoids are mainly out of the glucocorticoid, cortisol and cortisone are the primary hormone. The third layer is known as, that is the zona reticularis, right? Zona reticularis. This zona reticularis is actually secrete androgens, estrogen and progesterone. So second layer and third layer. Now there is the innermost core. This innermost core is known as medulla, right? So actually we have divided this adrenal gland in two parts, adrenal cortex and medulla, right? So adrenal gland have been divided into two layers. Adrenal medulla, the middle part, medulla, and the outermost, that is called adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex. So out of this adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex, this adrenal cortex is made up of three layers. So first one is called zona glomerulosa. Zona glomerulosa, right? Then the second part, this is zona fasciculata. Fasciculata. And the third one is called zona reticulata. Zona reticulata. So these all three part are belongs to these three part belongs to adrenal cortex, and now this middle part is called medulla, right? So that is called adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla secrete a type of hormone. These hormones are epinephrine and norepinephrine. So there are two type of the hormone: epinephrine and norepinephrine, and epinephrine and norepinephrine. And another type of the hormone, they are known as somatostatin. They are the peptides hormone. They are meant for the protein synthesis, right? So one more important thing is this one, adrenal medulla. Secrete epinephrine, norepinephrine. Yes, fine. So is it clear? This classification clear? The types of hormone. And now what is the functioning of hormone that we are going to discuss? Till this point clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So start noting now. This is also known as gland of emergency, the first and foremost important point. It is also known as gland of emergency because gland of emergency is known as gland of emergency. Why it is known as gland of emergency? Actually, during the emergency condition, when we get feared, when we feel feared, and when we met with an accident and all that. So during the emergency situation, these hormone try to control our body mechanism, our body metabolism. That's why this is called hormone of emergency. When a person gets feared or gets shocked, then the energy loses large amount of the energy loses from the person's body, and on that time it start energy generation by increasing the rate of respiration, rate of heart rate. Then you must have seen that a person got feared or got shocked, then the pulse rate start with pulse rate of that person, breathing rate of that person start because of this hormone, because this hormone releases, and that's how it controls the functioning of the body. So please start noting. uh, it is located in the top of kidney. It is located in the top of kidney. Full stop. Adrenal gland can be divided into two parts. Adrenal gland can be divided into two parts. Adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. Adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. Let's stop. Adrenal cortex is further divided into three layers. Adrenal cortex is further divided into three layers. A. Zona glomerulosa. A. Zona glomerulosa. B. Zona fasciculata. B. Zona fasciculata. C. Zona reticulata. C. Zona reticulata. Full stop. Next. Now put the heading hormones of adrenal cortex. Hormones of adrenal cortex. So first is the first layer, we adrenal cortex hormone. Adrenal cortex hormone. So out of this adrenal cortex hormone, right? So the first layer we discussed, that is the zona glomerulosa. Zona glomerulosa. So out of this zona glomerulosa, so the hormones, the group of hormones secreted, please note it down. This layer secrete the group of hormone. This layer secrete the group of hormone called mineralocorticoid. Mineralocorticoid. This hormone secrete this layer secrete a group of hormone called mineralocorticoids. Full stop. Their function is to maintain mineral homeostasis. मतलब mineral balance means mineral balance. Their function is to maintain mineral homeostasis. Full stop. Aldosterone is main hormone that regulate aldosterone is main hormone that regulate sodium level in blood. So this is the main hormone which is responsible for maintaining the sodium level in the blood. Aldosterone is the main hormone that regulate sodium level in blood. Plus stop. It increases sodium level. It increases the sodium level in blood. Next. So next layer is the zona fasciculata. So the cells are fascicle-like cells. So zona fasciculata. So second one is zona fasciculata. Zona fasciculata. So the group of hormone which is secreted by zona fasciculata are called glucocorticoid. So the group of hormone secreted by this layer are called glucocorticoid. Full stop. The cells of this zone have ascorbic acid. That is vitamin C. The cells of this zone have ascorbic acid. That is vitamin C. Full stop. Sorry, cut down this line. Vitamin C do not have vitamin C. Glucocorticoid. I'm sorry. Please cut down this line. I missed it. So here you have to note it down. It affects the glucose homeostasis. Strike off this line. Strike off this line. Glucocorticoid control glucose homeostasis. Stop. Next. See. Next layer is zona reticularis. Zona reticularis. That is the inner zone. The group of hormone secreted by it. The group of hormone secreted by it are called gonadocorticoid. Are called gonadocorticoid. Full stop. The cells of this zone have ascorbic acid. The cells of this zone have ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C. The cells of this zone have ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C. Glucocorticoid. Next point. Glucocorticoid mainly include glucocorticoids mainly include three hormones. Cortisol, cortisterone, and cortisone. Cortisol, cortisterone, and cortisone. Let's stop. Out of them, cortisol is most abundant. Out of them, cortisol is most abundant. It stimulates liver. To synthesize. It stimulates liver to synthesize carbohydrate from amino acid. It stimulates liver to synthesize carbohydrate from amino acid and glycerol. Right? Next one. It also increases glucose level in blood. It also increases glucose level in blood. Full stop. Next point is very important for your medical examination. So note it down. Cortisol also have anti-insulin effect. Cortisol also have anti-insulin effect. Cortisol also have anti-insulin effect. Full stop. It is immunosuppressive. It suppress antibody. It is immunosuppressive. It suppress antibody. It is immunosuppressive. It suppress antibodies. That's why it is given. During the treatment of allergy. Immunosuppressive. We are talking about the cortisol only, right? So cortisol is immunosuppressive, means it suppresses the immune system. That's why it is given during the treatment of allergy. Next point. It increases WBC count and suppress. It increases WBC count and suppress. Sorry, it increases RBC count. It increases RBC count and suppress WBC count. Cortisol. It increases RBC count and suppress WBC count. So all these functions belong to cortisol. All these functions. Next. Put a star and note it down. Put a star over here. Cortisol deals with stress. Cortisol deals with stress. That's why this is called a stress hormone. Cortisol deals with stress. That's why called a stress hormone. Next. Gonadocorticoids are also known as sex hormone. Gonadocorticoids are also known as sex hormone. Full stop. They are produced in large quantity. They are produced in large quantity in males.
Sir, gonadocorticoid is also known as
sex hormone, also known as sex hormones. Full stop. They are secreted in large quantity in females. They are secreted in large quantities in females than males. Full stop. Male sex hormones are known as androgen. Male sex hormones are known as androgens. These are important. Male sex hormones are known as androgen. Let's stop. Androgens. These are important for development of male fetus. Full stop. Female sex hormones are estrogen. Female sex hormones are estrogen, which maintain the development of estrogens, which maintain the development of female secondary sex characteristic. Female secondary sex characteristic.
Sir, can you say from female sex hormone?
Female sex hormones are estrogens, which maintain the development of female secondary sex characteristic.
Sir, I'm really sorry. Can you repeat once more? Something happened to my Wi-Fi.
Not an issue. Please note it down. Female sex hormones are estrogen. Let's stop. Female sex hormones are estrogens. They maintain development of development of female secondary sex characteristic. Now the disorders of this gland, right? What are the disorder of this gland? So put the heading disorders of this gland. So hyposecretion, what kind of the disorder it causes? So disorders. So out of them, first disorder is important. It's very important. So first disorder is Addison's disease. Addison's disease. It is caused due to deficiency of it is caused due to deficiency of mineralo and glucocorticoid. And glucocorticoid. Full stop. It causes tuberculosis. It causes tuberculosis. Full stop. This in this effect, the effect of disease is low blood sugar, nausea, increases sodium in urine, and potassium in blood plasma. Increases sodium in urine and potassium in blood plasma through two things increases. So sodium level increases in urine and potassium level increases in blood plasma. Next disease is second disease that is caused by Cushing syndrome. That is Cushing syndrome. Excess of cortisol. Causes this disease. Full stop. High blood sugar, high sugar in urine, high sugar in urine, and obesity. Next one is adrenal virilism. So the third disease is adrenal virilism. Appearance of male characteristic in female. That is mustache, beard, and all that. Right? Appearance of male characteristic in female due to excess of androgen. In female. Due to excess of androgen in female. Right. The fourth is adrenal virilism, Addison syndrome, Cushing syndrome. All questions have been asked in the medical examination, right? So don't take it lightly, right? Always remember. That's why I am teaching you adrenal gland in detail, right? and even it has been mentioned in detail in your NCERT as well, right? So the last, these all four diseases. There are four diseases, and all of them have been asked in medical exams. So next one is gynecomastia. Gynecomastia. Due to excessive estrogen in male, due to excessive estrogen in male, due to excessive estrogen in male, enlargement of mammary gland takes place. This is called enlargement of mammary gland takes place in males. That is called gynecomastia. So we have studied all the hormones which are secreted by adrenal cortex, right? Now, so we have studied all the hormones which are secreted by adrenal cortex. Now we are going to discuss with the hormones which are secreted by adrenal medulla, right? So put next heading is hormones of adrenal medulla. Hormones of adrenal medulla. Hormones of adrenal medulla. So that is the second part. Adrenal medulla secrete hormones. Adrenal medulla secrete two hormones. Write it down like this way. Adrenal medulla secrete two hormones. Norepinephrine and epinephrine. Norepinephrine and epinephrine. Look, norepinephrine is also known as noradrenaline. And epinephrine is called adrenaline. Norepinephrine is called noradrenaline and epinephrine is called adrenaline, right? Epinephrine is secreted during emergency, hence called epinephrine is secreted during emergency, hence called emergency hormone. Hence, it is called epinephrine is secreted during emergency, hence called emergency hormone. Emergency hormone, right? So this is called emergency hormone. That is the very important. This question is very important. Next, norepinephrine regulate blood pressure. I'm sorry. Norepinephrine regulate blood pressure. Norepinephrine regulate blood pressure under the normal condition. Under the normal condition. That's it. Have a glance on adrenal gland because this was a larger gland, and in case if you have any doubt about this one, so adrenal gland is called emergency gland, and epinephrine is called this one emergency hormone, right? So that all thing, and this one the hormone this one the cortisol is called stress hormone. These all are the question, and you have to keep in mind. Have a glance, and in case if you have any doubt, please ask me right now. Tell me, is it clear or not? Next one is pancreas.
Clear, sir.
Clear. Very good. So actually, these all the points you need to cram it. And for this chapter, I would suggest you just go for 3 or 4 times and memorize the things and try to understand the concept what I have told you. The pituitary gland will study. What is it? Thymus gland we did it. Yes, pancreas. So next, as per NCERT, I am following the sequence of NCERT only. So in NCERT, the next gland is that is pancreas. So put the heading pancreas. Pancreas gland we have studied in digestive part, and we have studied the function in the form of digestion or with the perspective of digestion. Now here we are studying the endocrine part of the pancreas gland. So pancreas. Oh, sorry. Pancreas. Pancreas, yes. And the gland number is 818. Yes. Look, we have already understood the functioning of pancreatic gland, and in digestive system we have seen the diagram as well. And this above part is spleen. It is above the pancreas. This is called graveyard of RBC, and it is also known as blood bank and all that. And there is an endocrine part. These endocrine part are called pancreatic islets. Right? Pancreatic islets, they secrete the pancreatic hormone. Pancreatic hormones are, first one is insulin and the second one is glucagon, right? So they in these pancreatic islets, in these pancreatic islets there are 3 kind of cells: alpha cells, beta cells, and they make the exocrine part, right? So there are in fact delta cell as well, right? So there are one more kind of cell, delta cell. Delta cells, alpha cells, beta cells, and delta cells. Alpha cells are responsible for secretion of a hormone called glucagon. So they secrete a hormone, and the name of hormone is glucagon. Glucagon. So they secrete glucagon. And beta cells, they secrete insulin. They secrete insulin. And delta cells, they secrete a hormone called somatostatin. 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 Please note it down. Alpha, beta, and delta. And these pancreatic cells, these cells, these endocrine cells which secrete endocrine hormone, they are either called pancreatic cells, or we also call them, these are called pancreatic islets, or we also call them islet of Langerhans. Islet of Langerhans. They are also called islet of Langerhans, pancreatic islets. Right. So start noting now. It lies inferior to stomach. Pancreas. It lies inferior to stomach. Full stop. Islet or Langerhans. Islet of Langerhans are named after their discoverer. Islet of Langerhans are named after their discoverer. Full stop. These secrete The endocrine hormones. The endocrine hormones. Now the role of hormone. What is the role? You have noted down the cells. You have noted down the this one. So now what are the roles of hormone? So first, glucagon. Glucagon. Actually, insulin converts sugar into glycogen, means glucose into glycogen, and store in liver. So when extra sugar in our blood, when sugar of blood is consumed, the sugar level decreases in blood, and we feel hungry. On that time, glucagon have opposite work of insulin. It convert glycogen into glucose. Right? So both are antagonistic to each other. Both have opposite function. Please note it down. Glucagon convert storage glycogen. Glucagon convert storage glycogen into glucose. Glucagon convert storage glycogen into glucose. Next, second one is insulin. It controls the glucose in blood. Let's stop. It convert glucose into glycogen. It convert glucose into glycogen. Full stop. It also promote protein synthesis in from amino acid. It also promote protein synthesis. It also promote protein synthesis in tissues. Protein synthesis in tissues from amino acid. It also promote protein synthesis in tissues from amino acids. Next one. It increases the synthesis of fat. It increases the synthesis of fat from fatty acid. It increases the synthesis of fat from fatty acid in adipose tissue. In adipose tissue. Full stop. The third hormone we have discussed, that is somatotropin or somatostatin. Somatostatin, or is also called somatotropin or somatotropin. Its action is to suppress the release of other hormone. Its action is to suppress the release of other hormone from pancreas.
Sir, can you repeat?
Its action is to suppress. Release of other hormone from pancreas. Release of other hormone from pancreas. Suppress release of other hormone. Right. Next, fourth one. Pancreatic polypeptide. Pancreatic polypeptide. It inhibits the release of digestive secretion. It inhibits release of digestive secretion of pancreas. Now the next point is that is the disorder. Pancreatic disorder. Put the heading pancreatic disorder. Disorders. So first disorder is that is called diabetes mellitus. What we call sugar. That is diabetes mellitus. It is also known as hyperglycemia. Hyper means increase of sugar in blood. Hyperglycemia. It is also called hyperglycemia. So please start putting on. This is the most common endocrine disorder. This is the most common endocrine disorder where this is the most common endocrine disorder where beta cell do not produce sufficient insulin. Beta cells do not produce sufficient insulin. Full stop. Right? So it causes due to deficiency of insulin. The sugar level increases in blood. Sugar level increases in blood. Right? Next is hypoglycemia. Next disease. Hypoglycemia. It occurs when blood glucose level falls down. Blood glucose level falls down below the normal. Full stop. Theoretically, it may be caused. Theoretically, it may be caused due to excess of insulin, or deficiency of glucagon, or both. Theoretically, it may be caused due to excess of insulin, or deficiency of glucagon, or both. It is also called hyperinsulinism. It is also called hyperinsulinism. It is also called hyperinsulinism. Right, so these are the two main diseases. Clear? Next is, that is the, I think this is the 8th, and the 10th gland is, next is, yes, the 10th one is testis. 10th gland is, no, sorry, 9th gland. 9th gland is testis. In class 12th, human reproduction is our topic, and we'll study it in detail. So look, these all system we will study in detail in class 12th. Human reproduction is that part of class 12. Till the time I am telling you, look. So these are the testes. So testis is found below the in the lower part of the body, and testis is basically surrounded by a cover that is called scrotum, and they are found out of the body part because their average temperature is 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than the body temperature. So they are colder than body temperature, because at the body temperature sperm formation cannot take place, all the sperm will die. Hence the temperature of the testis must be lower than the body temperature. That's why they remains out of our body. Inside the testis there are some tubules and some chambers. These are chambers. Inside these chambers there are some tubules. They are called seminiferous tubules. So this is the transport section of seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. In seminiferous tubules, the formation of sperm takes place. Sperm formation takes place. Between these tubules, there are some cells. They are called leading cells or interstitial cells. Leading cells or interstitial cells, they secrete a kind of the hormone, and these hormones are called androgens. They are basically androgen hormones. Right? Due to these hormones, the male fetus develop. Due to these hormones, the formation of sperm takes place, and that is the functioning of these hormones. Right? So please note it down. Interstitial cell or leading cell. Interstitial cell or leading cells of seminiferous tubules. Interstitial cell or leading cells of seminiferous tubules secrete various male sex hormone. Secrete various male sex hormone called androgen. Androgen. Let's stop. The principal androgen means the main one. The principal androgen is testosterone. Testosterone. Let's stop. The function of testosterone is development of secondary sex characteristics. Can anybody tell me what is the secondary sex characteristic? I am repeating the second time and nobody have asked me, so I want to know. Do you know this? Develop secondary sex characteristic. What are the secondary sex characteristics? Tell me, guys, please. Yes. Yes, Atif?
No idea.
No. Inashi, Mazia, what are the secondary sex characteristics? Secondary sex characteristics are the characteristic on the basis of which you define that he is the male and she is the female. Right? So those characteristics like Appearance of beard and mustache in males is secondary sex characteristic. One of the example, right? A harsh voice of male and a soft voice of female is secondary sex characteristic, right? Appearance of this Adam apple in males and disappearance of Adam apple in female, that is secondary sex characteristic. So on the basis of those physical or morphological characteristics, you determine a male and female, that is called secondary sex characteristic. Right? Please note it down. Secondary sex characteristic. Prostate, second development of secondary sex characteristic. Prostate and penis. Prostate and penis. Next, development of male sex organ. Full stop. Formation of sperm. Formation of sperm. Formation of sperm. Formation of sperm. Right. And then comes to the then this is the female sex organ, right? So next is ovary. Next gland is ovary. So 10th gland is ovary. So look, now ovary secrete estrogen and progesterone. This is the lateral section of ovary, and we'll study again this in class 12th in detail. Till the time I'm just giving you an introductory part. Look, this is the lateral section of ovary. One more thing which I want to tell you here only, like when male reaches to puberty, right? Any male achieve the 11th age of 11 years, then only the formation of sperm takes place. But in female, the formation of egg takes place when she was in the womb of her mother, right? So even before the birth, at the fetus stage, formation of egg start in females, but in males, the formation of sperm takes place after the puberty. So that is the difference male and female. In female, the primary ovaries are found. These develop into secondary ovary, then they develop into mature ovary and mature ovum. I'm sorry, this is the complete ovary part. So mature ovum, and this mature follicle is called Graphene Follicle, right? So when egg get mature, this is called Graphene Follicle. So Graphene Follicle is a follicular structure like a ball-like structure, and inside this ball-like structure there is ovum or called egg. This part is liquid form. This is called antrum. So Graphene Follicle have this kind of covering, egg and antrum. At the 14th day of menstrual cycle, 14th day. At the 14th day of menstrual cycle, ovum is liberated, and then follicle start contracting. This follicle do not degenerate. Now, after the release of egg, this is called corpus luteum, right? This contracting follicle called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum start secreting some hormone, right? So it work as a gland and start secreting some hormone. The base part of the ovary is called this base part. This base part of the ovary is called stroma. This base part is called stroma. Right? So please start noting that. Hormones secreted by ovary include hormones secreted by ovary includes estrogen and progesterone. Hormones secreted by ovary include estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone. Full stop. Relaxin, another hormone. Relaxin. Next hormone, inhibin or actin. Inhibin or actin. So there are actually three kinds of the hormone. First one is estrogen and progesterone. Second one is relaxin, and third one is inhibin or actin. Let me tell you. Estrogen and progesterone are those hormones which are responsible for the formation of egg and development of ovum, right? Relaxin is that hormone that relaxes the cartilage, right? It is released during the time of pregnancy mainly. So during the time of pregnancy, you must have seen that the foot size of a woman increases because it relaxes the ligament, which is found between the bones, right? So it relaxes the foot size, it relaxes the, so this relaxin hormone is responsible for giving birth to the child, right? Even it relaxes or increases the space between the bones of the pelvic part, right? So that easily the birth of child could take place. Inhibin or actin is that hormone that is the inhibin suppress the release of ovary hormone. Actin that stimulate the release of actin hormone, this sex hormone in female, right? So that is the function of inhibin and actin. So till the time, start noting now. Estrogen. Estrogen is released from Graphene follicle. Estrogen is released from Graphene follicle. Let's stop. It develops female secondary sex characteristic. It develops female secondary sex characteristic during puberty. It develops female secondary sex characteristic during puberty. Full stop. Maturation of ova and mammary gland. Maturation of ova and mammary gland takes place. Maturation of ova and mammary gland takes place because of this hormone. Next, progesterone. Progesterone is released from corpus luteum. This one, corpus luteum. Progesterone is released from corpus luteum. Let's talk. It stimulates development of mammary gland. It stimulates development of mammary gland. Let's stop. It is required for the formation of placenta. It is required for the formation of placenta and for the development of mammary gland. And maintenance of pregnancy Next, inhibin or actin Inhibin or actin? Inhibin inhibits and actin activate secretion of FSH, secretion of FSH. We have studied already follicle stimulating hormone. We have already studied in case of pituitary. Next, GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. That is GnRH, right? So that's for the one more thing. That's it for the glands actually. Now the next part is functioning of enzyme. How does this enzyme function? Till here, if you have any doubt, please let me know. In any gland. Give me just a minute. Functioning of hormone. So how does the hormone function? 1 second. Give me just a minute. I just want to explain you how does these hormone function. Functioning of hormone, and they causes actually protein synthesis. So how does they causes? I want to show you with the help of a diagram. Look, how does hormone function? Look, what happened? Suppose that hormone is get released and it reaches to cell, right? So actually, the cells have a particular type of the signal, right? Receptors, right? So this process is called actually cell signaling, right? Hormones keep on wandering the in whole blood and whole body. They do not function anywhere. They revolve every point. Whenever they reaches to target cell, that is called cell targeting or cell signaling. So whenever they reaches to target cell, the target cell have a particular type of the receptor for particular hormone, right? So suppose that this is the example of steroid hormone. They reaches to cell and cell have a receptor. Receptor receive this hormone, and after this receiving their hormone, right, receptor, it allow them to go inside. Hormone receptor complex, it reaches to DNA inside the nucleus. Now, the nucleus, what nucleus do? Inside nucleus, they reaches to DNA. DNA start making RNA. mRNA come out of nucleus. It get associated with these subunit. These are ribosome. So formation of mRNA from DNA is called transcription. So transcription takes place. After transcription from mRNA, formation of protein takes place by the ribosome. mRNA goes to ribosome and causes the formation of new protein, right? So formation of protein from mRNA is called translation. So first hormone causes transcription, then it causes translation. Translation causes formation of new protein. Now these proteins get synthesized. They may be structural protein or they may be a particular type of enzyme, hormone, anything, hormone, enzyme, anything else. It may be anything, right? So that's how the these mechanism of action takes place, and that's how these hormone affect the cell. Is it clear or not? That's how they causes the action. Please note it down. Take the screenshot of this is good diagram. Hormone produces their effect. Hormone produces their effect on target tissues. Let's stop. When they reach to hormone produces their effect in target tissues. Let's stop. When they reach to target tissue, when they reaches to target tissues, when they reaches to target tissues, they bind to a specific protein. They bind to a specific protein. They bind to a specific protein called hormone receptor. They bind to a specific protein called hormone receptors. Located on hormone receptor, located on target tissue. Let's stop. These hormone receptor, makes hormone receptor complex hormone receptor complex. Full stop. Next point. Hormone receptor complex causes the change. Hormone receptor complex causes the change in target tissues. Full stop. This receptor reaches to DNA and causes transcription. This complex reaches to DNA and causes transcription. That is mRNA formation. Full stop. Next point. Transcription leads to translation. Transcription leads to translation. That is formation of protein. Full stop. Protein may changes into enzyme, hormone, etc.
The protein changes
into hormone, enzyme, etc. That's how the functioning of hormone takes place in body. So that's it. This is all about your human physiology, right? So now we have to, I think we have to start with that one, plant physiology, right? Am I correct? Yes, guys. Am I correct? Minashi?
Yes, sir.
So in next class, we will start with the plant physiology. And in case if you have any question, any doubt regarding whatever we have studied today or regarding this chapter, please ask me. Where are the rest of the people? Rest of the people, they log off. I think they got disconnected. Atif, Minashi, any doubt, any problem?
No, sir.
No. So see you next class at tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start with the plant physiology, and we'll start with the first chapter, that translocation, and most probably we'll complete this chapter tomorrow, right? Most probably, right?
Yes, sir.
So all clear, no issue.
No, sir.
So see you tomorrow, right? Bye bye. Good night. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.